Hey everyone, it's Brandon. I'm back with another Big Brother Spoilers intro. Today's guest is Beau Beasley from the iconic Big Brother 6. Yes, it's been 20 years since that unforgettable season, and Beau is here to reflect on his time in the house, what life has been like since, and how he sees the game now compared to back then. We dive into all things BB6, his HOH week that changed the season, the legendary fights with Janelle, what it was really like being part of the Friendship Alliance, and even how close he came to being on BB22 All-Stars. Beau also opens up about his relationships with Yvette, Janelle, and the rest of his cast. Plus, whether he'd play the game ever again. And of course, he gives his unfiltered takes on Big Brother 27, from the new twist in Rachel's return to which house guests are standing out, who do you align with, and why he thinks the gameplay just doesn't compare to the BB6 era. This one has everything: nostalgia, insight, and plenty of Beau's signature honesty. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited to be talking to you. It's been 20 years since Big Brother 6. So how has life been for you since leaving the Big Brother house?
I mean, where do I start? No, it's just been, 20 years ago, I was 25. So literally life has gotten better. I've progressed, I've grown as a human in life, obviously, learned more about myself. Actually, I think being on the show actually made me more, I'm going to say, more confident. But when you're able to look back at yourself and you see how you were acting, the things that transpired online, as well as things in the house, and seeing how people judged you and saw you as a person and made their judgments. Not that I care what people think, obviously, but you grow and you learn. And obviously, fast forward 20 years, it's been a life-changing experience for me. I luckily I had a good edit, quote unquote. So I was able to kind of move forward in a positive aspect. A lot of people in my season, as you know, didn't have such a fantastic experience because back then it was super cutthroat. And obviously my season was very controversial. And we were the first season to ever have like a really house divided. And yeah, you just kind of, live and learn, and relationships wise, also, like I said earlier, seeing yourself and kind of wanting to grow from those moments and just grow stronger as an individual and just really be true to yourself. And yeah, life is good. A lot has happened, so I don't even know where to I began, but I'm 45 years old now, so obviously I'm a completely different person than I was, 20 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, so the past 20 years have flown by, but what was the most challenging part of transitioning back to normal life after the show?
I don't think it was really a hard transition, just knowing that everybody knew you. Back then, obviously, there was only 6 seasons deep. So you only had a certain amount of Big Brother fans that were really into it, and people that were diehard people that watched the feeds. There was no social media back then. So you knew the diehard Big Brother people were diehard Big Brother people. I think what made me really notice that people recognized me was when I was on the way back to Miami from LA, and there was a group of women that were coming down the escalator. As I'm going up the escalator, they're like, "You did great, Beau." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." It's like, okay. So people see me, people understand, people kind of know what I've gone through, or maybe not, or just people recognize you. So just having people come up to you and you know what, I had your back, or I understand, where your alliance relied, or your point of view was in certain situations. Don't forget, our season was also the first time that you ever were connected to another person. Not really connected, because season 4 was I think was that the is it 4 or 3? No, it was 4, where it was like a sibling or something like that. That was that was kind of the X Factor. This was called, I think. where you had like a chromosome, or you had somebody that was in your family that was connected or something like that, or a boyfriend or girlfriend, so somebody that you were necessarily thrown in the house with, but you weren't attached to, that you didn't have to be a part of to the end of the game. My season, we had to be attached to that partner that we walked into the house with until the end, and that's why our season was so controversial, because there's also $1 million. That's the only season that's ever been $1 million as like the grand prize, and then second prize was 250. Obviously, if you lost your partner, 500,000. But that was crazy. Yeah, it was just a crazy season for me, and a crazy season for anybody in America watching. But being in the house, it was a lot. So it was a lot of pressure. But yeah, we got through it. My partner Yvette, as controversial as she was, and as loved or hated that she was, she made it to the final two. And our alliance was the most dominant alliance, I think, still to this day. With like 7 people. Well, it was 6 and 6, so Sovereign 6 and the Friendship, but we made it to the final 5. So, well, besides Janelle, so final 4, I guess. But yeah, it was crazy. It was. And I never got actually ever put up on the block, except for that last final double eviction, where it was me and Yvette. They were the last partnership in the house. So I mean, if we could have gotten past that whole final double eviction, we could have won. But then I can go back into thinking things, and like, I should have been more strategic and not so emotional when I had HOH. And I wish that my alliance would have told me, what are you doing? Or at least my partner, Yvette, she should have said, what are you doing? Why are you putting up Rachel and Howie? You should like put up somebody else, and then let you, me, Rachel, Howie have a final 4 together so we can vie for the $1 million. Like, now that I look back at it, I was like, I was so stupid, but I was thinking emotionally, not strategically. And here I am today, still talking about it. So whatever. Yeah.
Yes, so you brought up the social media element of it. Are you happy that you didn't play in the social media area, or would you wanted to play in this time when social media is so big?
Honestly, I feel like I got the short end of the stick with the social media thing. I think I would have been great on social media. I still am. Like now I talk about, the different alliances and the different situations that were in the house. You look back and you can relate to people when you see their point of view when they're being vocal on social media. I mean, obviously certain other negative connotations don't help, but I think that for the most part, I was more entertaining. And that's the thing. Like me and Janelle, yes, our stupid drunken fight. Me and Howie, our antics, the whole shower scene situation, my drunken, what do you call it? Pressure cooker scene was hilarious. Like I was more like fun, only because I didn't feel like I could really talk game to people, or even actually if I did, they didn't show it because my partner was talking enough for the both of us, so I didn't really have to be involved per se. Or if I did talk game, then it wasn't really showed that much. Unless you watch the feeds. If you watch the feeds, then people were like, oh my gosh, yes, he's actually really smart. He's actually really clever, and he actually has a gameplay. But for what, I'm not saying what Big Brother was portraying, but what they wanted to show on the live feeds, versus what was actually syndicated and edited, they didn't really show me playing much game. But to each its own, whatever. I think I would have done great on social media. I think I'm entertaining, I'm fun, and I'm inclusive, and I kind of see things with a light heart. I don't take myself too seriously. I mean, I do in work aspects, but when it comes to reality TV and other things, I don't. I mean, you can't be so regimented and think that, the world thinks only your way, because that's just not the case. So yeah, that's my take. I think I would have been great on social media if we had more social media, back then. Yeah.
So let's get into this year's game. So who are your favorite house guests this season?
Okay, so favorite house guests. I mean, obviously Rachel is an old school BB player, so I'm always going to go for the underdog and the person that's like not obviously going to be favored by everybody because they think that she's a threat. But she's a really, like, she's a softie. Like, she's funny, and she's good for TV, and she's also strategic. But I think that some of her antics are a little much. I'm also great friends and besties with her sister, so obviously I'm Team Rachel all the way. Me and Alyssa have gone live a couple times. We actually bonded last year at a charity event. Hung out a lot during the Big Brother cruise, so we were like buddy, and bosom buddies. And I love her. She's just quirky and fun. No wonder she was America's favorite player, during her season. But she's just quirky and funny, and we like feed off each other in a good way. So obviously, I'm dedicated to her through Rachel. Dedicated to Rachel through her. And obviously, me and Rachel have had great moments together as well. Like, we met and we hung out, and we've had our lives together as well. She's an amazing competitor when it comes to any show that she's on. She's, reality queen royalty. She's also very great friends with my bestie Janelle. Janelle, I've been friends with for 20 years. Give or take our stupid little fight on my season, but people don't understand that we were over it the next day. So it's like, all right, whatever. So they're two big BB queens. So I obviously love Rachel via Janelle. Ashley's great. I love her gameplay. At first, I was like, okay, maybe not. Okay, cool, maybe yes, because she was a little wishy-washy. But now I feel like that she's more focused on her game, and she knows what she wants now. She's not letting people like overturn her thinking. Will is great. He's just like fun and sweet. Like, how can you hate him? Ava, she's just a quirky character. Vinny, obviously this week when he didn't nominate Rachel, I was just like, what? I was shocked, completely shocked. I loved the whole Keanu situation when him and Rachel were like buddy, well, frenemies, well, enemies, then frenemies, then there. I loved that whole kind of roller coaster of a situation between them. And then this past week, obviously, after he like threw her under the bus like a million times, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, that's insane. So now I can't stand him, and now I think he's a shithead, and I want him to be last. Who else is there? Obviously Catherine's gone now, and she was just kind of just boring TV, I would have to say. And then Lauren, it's like watching paint dry. I'm sorry to say, but it's just really bad. And I'm just like, between some of these people and watching them talk to each other and try to like gameplay where they're just like, I'm like, I can't. So those are my top 5 or 6, whatever. And everybody else, who's left? What's her face? Mickey.
While we're running through everybody, what's your thoughts on Riley?
Oh, Riley. Riley was just that person that was just so not like, I don't know. He wasn't just like, he was not understanding of, what's the word to say? I hate to say this, but like, he's like not human. Like he's like in his own bubble, in his own world, and he's just thinks he's like the shit, and he thinks he's God's gift, and he's like, oh, and then the way he was speaking to Catherine, and I was just like, what the, like, if he just psychotic, crazy, emotional roller coaster, not sane. Obviously he's had a couple bumps with horses that he's been on, in his rodeo career. So maybe he's fallen off the horse a few times, and maybe that's affected his brain. So I don't know. He's just a little in his own world. Mickey, same thing. Like, she thinks that she's the biggest powerhouse, and she thinks that her shit doesn't stink. And I'm like, girl, you have another thing coming. Like, when these people this season especially get out of the house, they're gonna be rudely awakened. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I just realized this as I was watching this episode. Is Catherine going back to the real world, or is she going to the jury?
She's going home.
That is going to be some shit. I was just like, wait. Because I was like, okay, no, the first 5 people go home. I guess this season, she's going home. So I can imagine what the world is going to think of her and what she's going to realize what the world's been thinking. And then what's going to happen with Riley. That's going to be its own TV show in its own right now in this day and time, starting tomorrow. Like when she has all of her interviews and then people realize, or she realizes what the world has been thinking and seeing. And then when she looks back at all the tapes.
Well, speaking of interviews, I actually interviewed her stepmom today, actually. So
okay,
if you're curious, she's not a Riley fan.
Well, who is? I even said in one of my Twitter posts, I was just like, can Catherine's family like create a serve a restraining order against him, without her permission? They're like, no, you can't, obviously, because it's like, against the family, yes, but against her, they can't, because obviously she's over 18. So I'm like, oh my God, this shit is going to go crazy, especially it's going to go insane. Like, I cannot imagine how it's going to go down on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's like, yeah, to be continued. Yeah.
Yeah. So on your season, there were 5 people from Florida, and this season there's no Florida people. Where are the Florida people at this season?
I mean, you would think like we're the most entertaining and fun. Yeah. So my season was me, Yvette, James, Howie, and me, Yvette, James, Howie, and who else? Who was the 5th one?
It had said
Janelle. It was Janelle and Janelle. It was 6 of us from Florida. 6 of us.
Okay, yeah. It didn't say how he was from there, so.
Well, he was from Fort Lauderdale, but whatever. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, no Florida people this season. I guess they used all of them up in your season.
Exactly. And honestly, we make the best TV. Honestly. And the fact that we didn't run into each other, beforehand, I kind of knew that's one of the reasons why me and Janelle kind of hit it off, but we didn't. Because we were in competition with each other, because we knew 2 of the same people. And I was like, well, I know so-and-so for longer than you have. She's like, no, he was supposed to be me with the show, our friend Kenny. I was like, well, I don't know you if he's supposed to be your best friend, because he's my friend. And that's when our whole little rift happened. And then Ashlea was living in, I guess they were roommates in fashion school. I knew Yvette from work, because I was a marketing director. She was the head server. We weren't besties at all, but we still hung out and we still had, bonding moments before. And then Howie and Rachel knew each other, I think, from Chicago, but he's from Florida. He lived in Fort Lauderdale, and he was going to weatherman school, whatever you call it, astronomy school. No, that's astrological. What do you call it? Weatherman school. Anyhow. And then actually James lived in South Miami. He grew up in South Miami. He wasn't from there. He actually lived in Chicago. So him and Sarah came on as a partnership. But how crazy. Just looking back at it. But I think my season was the last one that really everyone was kind of friends with each other, except for maybe two or three people. We all got together. We all hung out together. We all kept in touch. And it was just one of those kind of things where we played the game to play the game. We weren't there to have more followers, because there were no followers to be had. I mean, we had Friendster, we had MySpace. There was no social media. We had I think Twitter started 2008. So that was 3 years after our season ended. And yeah, we're just in it to win the money. So, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the BB Blockbuster as a twist? Do you like the twist?
I want to say I do love having that BB Blockbuster twist, only because it kind of pulls back from the whole house voting with each other. Obviously everyone has a backup. Everyone has a backup plan. Everybody think strategically. I think in the most recent seasons, a lot of people are safe because they vote with the house. I think 22 All Stars, 23 was the cookout. Last season, maybe. Oh no, actually, they pretty much voted with each other. I can't remember a season that they didn't. That everyone was like on their own plan. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the blockbuster helps to kind of alleviate that stress a little bit, but I think that people's loyalty, they already know where they're going to vote for the most part. I think when they're sitting down and they say, okay, scenario 1, here's what happens. Scenario 2, this is what's going to happen. Scenario 3, or worst case scenario, this is what's going to happen. So I think they're already kind of prepared, but it makes it a little bit easier, or less easy actually, to just have a unanimous vote. You know, although we already have a couple of times, but yeah, I like it. To answer your question, I like the BB blockbuster.
And then, what do you think of the BB Unlocked, the Friday episodes? Have you been watching those?
I haven't watched it. I haven't. Like, it's just been one. Friday nights are like my own time to like do my own thing, and I don't have time to be home. Like I work a very hard schedule Monday through Friday, and I'm very busy. And when it comes to like my happy hour schedule on a Friday, I'm not going to be home at 8:00 at night watching, you know, a BB episode or whatever every other week. Plus, what they say is not really what I agree with. Some of the guests are kind of like, whatever. Derek is not one of my favorite players. Taylor I love, but I love her on a more personal level. Not so much. I mean, I love her on the BB level as well, because obviously she won, and she was the first, you know, African American, you know, winner, female winner, and it was fantastic to have that. But when it comes to, I don't know, just their, I think it's just their banter that I don't agree with, because I feel like it's so odd, so it's kind of hard to watch, like her and him, when I know that they don't like each other. So that's another thing. And it's like, they're getting along for the sake of TV, but I'm like, it's like, I'd rather spend my Friday night watching Housewives, you know, catching up and shit like that, like on my other shows. So, yeah.
And who's your winner pick for this season? Who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
I'm shocked that Rachel has gotten this far. Honestly,
she hasn't even been nominated.
That's why I'm like, if this girl was saved from being nominated, and she can work her way, because like me and Evil Dick have been going back and forth on Twitter, and he's like, what planet are you on? I'm like, I'm on planet Rachel right now, because the fact that she's working all these newbies, and she's made it as far as she has without being put on the block, and she's able to argue her way. Yes, her antics might be a little much sometimes, a little too much animated, maybe too little, like, you know, trying too hard. I have to say, like the whole kitchen situation with her and Keanu. I'm doing the dishes. Get away from me. And she's like, and he's like, what do you mean? She was like, I'm doing the dishes. Walk away. And it's like she's trying to be this like extra bitch character, where it's almost coming across as fake a little bit. Not that she's fake, like I love her to death, but she's also good TV. So it's also, she's playing into that whole situation. And Keanu's just trying to be stupid or play stupid. But I mean, I'm Team Rachel all the way. Love me or leave me. Second best or second place for me would be Ashley. I think she'd be great as a final two. Obviously, Rachel would beat her. If Will was next to her, Rachel would win. If Ava was at the end, Rachel would win. Listen, if Rachel's in the final two, she's gonna fucking win. Because for her to get to the end, being an already Big Brother winner, that's genius. She'll make history. Her speech is gonna be fucking insane. And nobody's not gonna vote for her. They're gonna be like, you know what? we have to give it to you. You fucking made it. And yes, you escaped the block this many times. We have to vote for you to win. I mean, anybody that knows Big Brother, they know that she has to win if she makes it to the final two. And whoever, here's going to be the thing. Whoever makes it to the final three, and she's even said this, she's not taking Keanu to the end. Because then if she takes him to the end, he'll win. Who else did she say? She said Mickey. She goes, if she takes her to the final two. Well, actually, I think that Rachel would win next to Mickey. Mickey's just like, oh, she's just harsh. Like, I just feel like that she's in her own world. I think she's just God's gift. It's crazy to watch sometimes. I'm just like, wow. Like, sometimes I throw things at the TV. I'm just like, what the fuck? You know? So, yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, Rachel, my number one. Ashley, number two. And just because I think he's a sweetheart, Will, or Vinny. So that's my tie for third. So, and that's it.
Well, talking about a winner in the final two, we've seen in season 14 that Dan coming in as a past winner, he made it to the final two and he didn't win. So it's not impossible. They might not vote for it because they don't want to see a two-time winner. That's very possible.
Well, I also think that Dan was not so swift. I think Dan was too cocky. And he's also a male. So just, it's a male dominant game. The fact that Rachel's a female, the fact that she's won the game already, the fact that she has not been, you know, I mean, she's been a target, obviously, but she's pulled herself down in some which way, shape, or form to not be on the block. That says more. And I feel like that most people back then knew Dan's gameplay because there was only so much to compare it to. The fact that Rachel hasn't been on in 15 years, a lot of the newbies don't know her gameplay. So the new people that were on the show with Dan, like they knew, like, oh, just like with Dr. Will and with Mike Boogie, like they knew that there were sketchy players. Speaking of which, I mean, sticky fingers as well. Like it's crazy. Like but I mean, God bless his heart. But no, I think that, and that's another thing of the new school versus the old school. A lot of people don't know. And even, what's his face? Even Keanu said to Rachel face to face, he's like, half these people don't know what you did in the game. They don't know your gameplay. They don't know that you're strategic. They don't know how to, put people against each other. And I'm loving her intuition because she sees everything and she's so right on point about every single person that is either scampering to go talk to somebody else or after somebody wins something, she's observant and she knows exactly what's going to happen. Like, I think Rachel's going to win. I hope she wins. I mean, that would just be great and she deserves it, So.
Yeah, I definitely want to see her win too. But is there anything else, BB27, you want to talk about before we get into you and your season a little bit?
Oh, God. No, I just think that I think now we're having a good game. Now we're getting into the gameplay and people not being such flip-floppers. I mean, last week, Sunday, was it last Thursday and Sunday, I even tweeted, I was just like, all these fucking flip-floppers, like, they can't make a decision. Like, they're, like, running back and forth, like, scampering little ants. I think now people are understanding their viewpoint, and I think that now they're actually playing for themselves. And I think now that now we have a game going. Now we have a really good game going, and I'm excited to watch every week. So
how did you end up on Big Brother in the first place? How did they get you and Yvette on the show?
So my season was Summer of Secrets. So they casted 7 people as finalists. So basically they casted 7 or 8 people. They had those 7 people as the finalists. Then they had those 7 people give them a list of 5 people that they would want to be on the show with. The way that we perceived it and the way that they sold it to us was Yvette called me. She goes, "Hey, have you seen Big Brother?" I'm like, Hardy Hill season 1. Yeah, I've seen it, but I haven't watched the whole season because we're all from Miami. And she was like, "Well, I'm a finalist on the show. Well, in the casting process, they're asking me to like submit some names of people that I would want to do a couple competitions with or have as my support team. Would you want to do it?" I'm like, "Sure, why not? Okay, whatever." I mean, at that point, I had just kind of segued into like my new job as being a personal stylist and personal shopper. I was working at the same establishment that she was at, like, maybe 3 months or 4 months before, but it was a Monday morning at like 11 a.m. and I was still asleep, hungover from the night before. I get this phone call and she asked me, she goes, "Would you want to come?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So then I get a call from Christopher Catalano, and he gets on the phone with me. He was like, "Oh my gosh, da, 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 can you send me some pictures of you?" And she says that you're fabulous and you're fun and energetic. I'm like, "Okay, whatever, yeah." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll send you some pictures." I sent some fun pictures of like me partying and stuff like that. Within 10 minutes, he goes, "Oh my God, you're perfect. Can you come out to LA?" I'm like, "Sure." He's like, "Can you come out tomorrow?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Tomorrow?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "I can come Wednesday." So they paid for me to go out. And then once I got out there, I didn't realize that I was like the 4th round because she had already had 4 people that had come out and auditioned with her as to be her partner. But we were all flown out on different schedules, so we never overlapped. So they ended up choosing me, and they partnered us as the gay twist of Big Brother 6. So they're like, "Do not tell anybody anything about you guys being on the show together because you guys are the gay twist. We never had 2 gay people on the show before. So if you get to the end, then you guys get $1 million." I'm like, "Oh my God." It was believable on my end, on our end. It was like, "Oh my God, there really has never been like 2 gay people on the same show." I'm like, "This is fucking fantastic. Okay, cool." We believed it. But then getting into the house and all the things, and we're thinking about, are we the only ones? I still thought we were the only ones until like week 2, until Ashleigh was evicted, and then Janelle completely like partnered up with Mike and Kaser, and I was just like, "Huh, interesting." And then you saw other people like kind of like, whispering on each other's attempts. Cappy and Maggie, that was a little obvious. Jennifer and Rachel, little obvious. I mean, sorry, Jennifer and
April.
And April, little obvious. Did not see Howie and Rachel at all being connected. Did not see Sarah and James being connected at all. We're like, you guys are so opposites. But it was kind of funny because then when you kind of look back, you're like, "Oh my God, it was so fucking stupid. It was so completely obvious." But you're in that bubble and you're just like so pressured and you don't want to look and you don't want to do that. And there was a couple times where I think one time it was Cappy, me, Yvette, Maggie, and I say April, like talking in the main bedroom area, and Sarah was sleeping underneath the covers, which we didn't even realize that she was there because she was like laid flat, and she was sleeping, so she didn't hear anything of the conversation. But literally, I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." Just watching it back. I actually didn't watch my season for like 2 years when I got back. Like, I was like, "I'm over Big Brother. I don't want to be involved, whatever else." I grew my hair out. I was like, "Well, I don't want anybody to recognize me." Because it was just like, I didn't know what people thought. So, in my aspect, I didn't know what to, or how to perceive it. So I was just like doing my own thing.
Okay. So did going on the show, did that change your fandom at all? Or have you watched every season since you did the show?
Let's see. So me going on the show, I forget. I watched the show a little bit in like certain episodes. I didn't realize it was such a commitment until I was on the show, and then I saw it back 2 years later. I watched, I think my first, believe it or not, season. Watching the full season of being completely indebted to it wasn't until season 19. Honestly, to be
13 years after your show, 12 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I watched I watched that season over. It was like BB10, I believe, because that was during the writer's strike. That extra season, which was like 4 months or 3 months. No, actually, it was a full season, but it was just like over January period, because it's over the holidays. So I wasn't so enamored in my job. Don't forget, my job, which was styling, I was also a promoter. So I was out every night. So I didn't have time to watch and keep track of, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever it was back then to watch a TV show. I just kind of like binge watch it, or I had DVR and I would watch shows back. But unless I was being paid to like comment on a live show, whatever, I didn't really engage. I think it was literally season 19 that I watched the full season. Then 21. I'm sorry, 10 was the first one because that was in January. Then I would say, yeah. I mean, I traveled so much. Like when I got off the show, I was single for like 2 years, and then I met my partner, well, my ex-fiance at the time. We were together 6 years, but we were traveling so much, so I didn't really have time to like sit. I barely watched TV. And then that was 6 years, and then I met my ex-husband in 2013. Moved to Berlin, so I moved abroad. I was away for 3.5, 4 years. Didn't watch it. Came back to the States. Then I would say 2019 was when I really started watching the show because my boyfriend at the time, which he was a Big Brother fan, so we're his friends. So they kind of like were like, "Oh my God, you're a Big Brother!" I'm like, "Yeah, years ago, whatever." So we started watching it back, and then, yeah, I think the Cookout, All Stars, which was 2019, 2020. And then the Cookout, which is 23, which was insane. And then after that, 24, 25, so 26, okay, But then that's when I started going to the charity events that we have in Orlando. So I think it was 2019. No, it was 2019. 2020 was when I started going to the charity event that they do in Orlando. Now it's called Over the Edge, but before it was
Give Kids the World.
Give Kids the World Village. So, and I was living in Florida, and Janelle was going, and I was like, all right, I'll go, and people got me involved. So I was just like, oh, this is such a great charity and great, time to get together with people, and yeah, it was just, yeah.
And what was your favorite part of doing the show and the whole experience? What was your favorite part?
I want to say my favorite experience of being on the show was just being in this experiment with strangers. Just not knowing. I think also being cut off from the outside world, just not knowing what was happening. And then when we got out, like we were like, what happened? Like you're literally trapped in a time capsule. And your world in that house literally is not jaded, affected, unless something is affecting your family. But just you being cut off from the world is kind of a nice, like, getaway. Yes, you're going through drama with these people that you don't know, but you're also bonding with these people. You're also like making friendships, and you're like, but it's such how people create showmances and such bonds and friendships in that house. Like you're stuck with that person or those people for such a long period of time, especially if you're in the house for such a long time. Like I was in the house for 10 weeks, and then I was in jury for 3 weeks. So it's like, I never saw the outside world after I walked in. So it was 14 weeks. So 13 and a half, 14 weeks that I didn't know or see anybody else. So when we saw the jib person, with the jib on live shows doing the camera, we're like, oh my God, there's jib guy, so it's like fun because we're like, oh my gosh, we haven't seen another human being in like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. So yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. I really learned about myself coming back out of the house and kind of just like getting back to reality. I was always around a lot of people when I was growing up because I was in student council in high school, junior high school, you name it. So I've always been quite active in the community, but just knowing and being a part of such small knit community like the Big Brother family, it's like nobody knows what you go through when you're living in that house under one roof with these people, and either you love these people or you hate these people and you can't get away from them, whether you like it or not. You're just stuck. So you learn how to cope. You learn what your non-negotiables are, especially when it moving forward. Speaking about relationships and friendships, and like, you just kind of learn. You learn a lot about yourself. That's for sure. So I learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of and not capable of. And how I am under pressure-filled competition. Looking back on competitions that I did do, I was like, oh my gosh, why would I ever wear that? Or why would I ever do that? Or why would I ever say that? But that goes to show that I'm just, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I am myself, and love me or leave me. So, yeah.
And back in season 6, there was no America's Favorite Player. Who do you think that would have been if they did America's Favorite Player back then?
Me.
Yeah.
Hello. Obviously, no. I think we had America's Vote
To bring Kaser back, right? That's what you're
no.
referring to?
So to get the phone call, so Janelle got it.
Okay, yeah.
And I think there was another one where, so she won the PB&J pass. She got America's Vote to win the phone call, and then America's Vote, or America, whatever you call it, like the vote back into the house. Kaser got that one. I think there was another one. Was there another one towards the end of the season? It was like, no, because the movie Four Brothers was the movie box office veto. It was here's the thing. We had luxury comps. We had food comps. Like, we had so many other things that we could like work with and work for to like bring us together closer as a house, where you don't have that in newer seasons. Even after season 7 or All Stars 1, you didn't have any of that other stuff. So there was nothing that was bonding you together. That's one thing as well. Even though we hated each other, like the other side of the team, of the house, we still were a team because we had to play together to be able to eat in the house, to be able to like sleep and have cold water, and to be or warm water, and to have like drinks. Like, we got wasted in our season because we had alcohol. Obviously, the pressure cooker was an experience. Of course, me and Janelle's drunken fight, another experience. But it is what it is. You learn. But it was fun. I had a great time in my season, and we all bonded. And literally, I think the only people that don't talk to other people, Maggie, she disappeared. Jin, unfortunately, she kind of sucked away from, the crowds, as well as Sarah. Like, she just like, I just want to have a family. I want to be done with this. And she's married happily with, her kids. Rachel, last time I saw her actually was a few years ago. I was in Arizona, and we ended up meeting up. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously, I talk to Janelle every week, one of my best friends. Ashley, same. She's dearest and nearest to me. Yvette, she has a family. She has her 2 kids, so she's in mom zone. April, 16-year-old kid, and yeah, it's just life. Howie and I, great. Kaser, fantastic. Me, Janelle, and Howie. No, I'm sorry, me, Janelle, Kaser went to New York together a couple of years ago. So and obviously this past summer we had the Big Brother cruise. So it was 6 of us or 5 of us from my season all together again. It was hilarious, so funny. So yeah, we have fun. We're a close knit season. I think we're probably the last close knit season that really, opposite sides or not, we totally bonded.
Yeah, so we've seen Janelle come back and do other shows. We've seen Kaser come back and do Big Brother, Howie and James. But when are we going to see you come back and do another show?
That is to be determined. There are a couple shows that I've recently in talks with. Don't want to jinx myself, but it is the early stages of one of my favorite shows. So we'll see what happens. I'm friends with some people that are involved, so I don't want to jinx it. So I don't want to. I don't want to do a spoiler alert, even though I should. But no, I actually just spoke to one of the casting directors this past week for casting that's starting for a show that's already been in existence. That we'll be filming in the spring. So we'll see.
We can talk offline about that one.
Okay. Deal.
So what shows would you play Big Brother again, and what other shows would you be interested in doing?
So actually, I was kind of, unofficially asked to come back for season 22. Me and Janelle were talking about me coming back for All Stars 2. I got kind of far in that process, but then it kind of just boiled down to Kaser saying yes or no, because obviously the world knew Big Brother and Janelle and Kaser as, Sovereign Six. Then playing together in season 7, which was the All Stars 1. And they were like, okay, let's bring it back again. I was like, why would you want to do that? Because you're already putting an automatic target. They already know. You already know. Whoever goes into that house already knows that Janelle and Casey are going to be partners. Like, why would you do that? So they were going to throw a wrench in it, and they were actually possibly going to have myself and Janelle secret partners, not partners officially, not officially. Because people that don't watch the show, or if they haven't watched the show in a long time, they didn't realize that me and Janelle are best friends, and they still see me and Janelle as enemies based on our stupid drunken fight from season 6. So I think we could have played that angle completely easy. I've spoken to a few people. I mean, Squid Game, not really. I had never really watched the show, so I didn't really know what it was about. I knew it was like a strategic game of like games and puzzles and stuff, which I'm pretty good at. But I'm like, would I want to be on the show based on that? Maybe not. I would love to be on Traders. Wink, wink. So I think it would be great as a trader, or even as a faithful. I think nobody would believe that I would be a trader, but who knows? And then, I've been on other reality shows before. I've done Housewives in Miami a couple times and stuff like that, because I'm friends with a lot of people. Miami's small, so if you haven't been on one show, you've been on another show. So, yeah.
And what about The Amazing Race? We're going to see The Amazing Race Big Brother edition this fall. Would that be something you would do?
Yeah. I would definitely. I'm not sure who I would go on with. That would be something to be determined. Yeah, I'm totally open for a big. Obviously the Big Brother edition already happened, but I would do Amazing Race for sure. Like, that's a fun traveling show. It's strategic. It's also, don't forget, I'm an Eagle Scout, so I can survive in the wilderness. Okay, so I can survive, and I'm always prepared. Put it that way.
Are you an Amazing Race fan? Are you definitely going to watch this?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, yes, 100%. Yes, I don't want to spoil anything, but
Yeah. So you brought up the BB cruise a few times. So how was that, meeting all the fans and all the alumni? How was that cruise?
So the BB cruise, that was my first ever cruise. I've never been on a cruise before. So being around about 1,000 Big Brother fans was next level. We had events that were planned. We had dinners, cocktail parties, meet and greets, you name it. It was just great to be able to bond and to really speak to the fans that really are diehard fans of the show for such a long time. Meeting the offspring of Big Brother fans as well, and people and kids that were like, 15 or 12 or 11 or even 8 years old. They're like, I watched your show. I'm like, you weren't even thought of like 20 years ago. They're like, yes, but I watched it back and your season's my favorite. Just seeing that and hearing that is so, like, just so comforting and sweet. It's sweet. Like you don't realize until you're in it, until you're engulfed in it, and you are just around it 24/7. I mean, you're at sea, so you can't escape if you like it or not. But I had a great time, and I was also bonding with my season because we had the most amount of people for my season on that ship. So it was almost like our Big Brother 6 reunion. It was so fun. I had the best time ever. I would totally do it again. I did not get seasick, which I was shocked. You don't even feel the boat rocking. It's obviously also one of the biggest ships in the world. So when we were already docked off and we were at sea for 3 hours already, they were like, "All right, it's time to like get ready for it." They're like, "What do you mean?" They're like, yeah, we've been at sea for 3 hours." I'm like, "What?" And then when you realize, you're like, "Holy shit!" And then when you go to the room, because I had a balcony on the water, and I walked outside, I was like, "Oh my god, we are legit on the sea. Like we're in the middle of the ocean. Like there's nothing around us. Like holy wow!" So that was an experience. And then also I bonded with some people that I never thought I would ever really bond with. Like, you know, you're kind of thrown in this situation, this melting pot of people that you're like, "Oh my god, okay, so and so cool, or so and so sweet. I never thought about talking to them or whatever." I mean, yeah, it was a great experience, and I would totally do it again.
Wrapping it up, a couple more questions. So, do you have any advice for future house guests based on your own experience?
My experience. So, I mean, future house guests that are trying to be on the show. I mean, I know people that are trying so hard to like do this, you know, performance of, "Oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm the fan of this and that." Like, yes, it's great to be a super fan, but it's also you have to be yourself, you know, because when you're on that show, you forget the cameras are there. So it's going to bring out the good, the bad, the ugly, the things that you might not want America to see, or just the things that you are just like destined to be. So I think, you know, just be yourself. Don't go on there and try to act like this. And I'm just, you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking about. Don't try to be like a superstar and like just like, oh, having all these performed and rehearsed lines of like this and that and drama like that comes across as fake, and it's known to the people that are watching the show, especially in your exit speech or your whatever defense speech if you're on the block or whatever it is. Just be yourself. Like, don't try to be someone you're not. One thing about my season is that, and I do have to say this completely honest, you know, they wanted me to be like Marcellus. I'm my own person. Yes, I may be black. Yes, I might be shaved head. Yes, I might have like, you know, a stylist background back then, and we were only 2 seasons apart or 3 seasons apart. But they literally gave me the season 3 tapes to watch back. And then I didn't really put 2 and 2 together what they wanted me to be. Just be yourself. And look what happened. You know, I think I was my own person. Obviously, you know, maybe my circumstance was different only because we had partners that we had to be with and attached to, but I couldn't really play my own game per se. I still played my own game and had my own thoughts, but just be yourself. You know, don't try to act like something that you're not. Don't try to be a superstar. Don't go on. I mean, obviously it happens nowadays when people just try to go on for just, you know, to jury and like, okay, I made it to jury, so I'm going to be, you know, no. And people see through that. And if you try to be a superstar and start name dropping people, you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I know you've teased another show, but is there any upcoming projects or events that you'd be excited to share with your fans?
I am starting to work on a podcast. So I'm just kind of figuring out if I want to do it on my own or if I have a couple people that I have in mind that I've been talking to about doing, you know, being my co-host or us being co-hosts together, because it takes 2, you know, or it takes it's a team to create something like this. Or if I did it on my own, then I would have amazing special guests. So I would say October, November, look out. So I am in the works of that. And as well as just working on some other kind of just like work projects. I'm in the tinting business for the past 3.5, 4 years. So if you walk into a hotel, or if you walk into a fabulous spa or condo building or some kind of fabulous space, and you smell a scent, and you don't see candles around or wall plugins, it's coming from the air vent. So that's what I'm doing now. I love what I do, but I'm also curating spaces further beyond commercial spaces for like really fantastic like venues. So, and I create experiences. So that's part of what I'm also highlighting in the next couple months, showing almost like a real estate show or interior design show, but based on set. So if that makes sense, kind of be, I'm talking to a couple of networks, so put it that way, or people to like kind of figure out a pathway to make it happen. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone should stay tuned for that. So, Beau, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to catch up with you and get your insights in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.